What's going on, everybody? What is going on? It is Monday, September 23rd, 2024, and we are back with another live here on the Torian Rain Reloaded channel. If you haven't done so already, please be sure to go ahead and hit the like button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button if you are new to the channel. And if you are new to the channel, I'm glad that you are here. Make sure to hit the bell twice again so you can be notified whenever I upload a new video or go live, or just simply join the Discord. The link is pinned right there at the top. Shout out to all of the mods, all of the members, everybody on Patreon, everybody who is a member, everybody on X, Discord, Instagram, all of that good stuff. So we have a doozy of a stream today, and y'all was ready and locked and loaded since I put the stream window up last night. I mean, the comment section in the chat was getting flooded since last night, almost like about 24 hours ago since I did the stream that I did yesterday on Mark Robinson. Now, y'all know I had to come on here and talk about this. I actually had a different stream lined up for today, but I said I'll definitely get this one out ahead of time because it's been in the news heavy for the last few days. So we have quite a few things that we're going to go over. But before we get into all of that, first off, shout out to the room being like flooded right now. It's 144 people in here, and we haven't gotten really started yet. But let me go ahead and acknowledge the people who are here so far in the chat. We got Craig Colson, Zarp, Tamisha, Daniel, Greta, Drea, Cynthia C, Leia, Janesta, CGI Kid Productions, Oh Really, Neo Panther, Wallow J, Firebat, Mental OG, DJ, TR5, Terry Phillips, Tori Tate, Dorian Scott, Reparations Nations, Hacksign KT, Jane Smith, Black Spider, Yanni 2436, Andrew Campbell, DSA1, Brooklyn Queen, Scylla T, Tangi 2936, John Shippey, Andrew Campbell, Derry B, The Church of Black Power, Human, Miss Jalen, MML, DSM Sinister, Roku Muro, Brother Man, Dewani, Lolo, Lalo, Volvo to Love, Chase, Pam Entertainment TV, Black Trini Girl to the Bone, Yoon Sellers, Brother Man to You, Ruby C, Donna C, RDRD, Don P, Hulk Smash, Tina Thomas, Hepzibah, Anti-Hero, Hello Love, Profess the Film Fan, J. Cage DeAndre, Dark Titan, Stephen B, and Denzima. Shout out to everybody that is here so far in the chat, and shout out to everybody that will be coming through as time goes on, as we move through with this stream. So let me tell you something. Janet Jackson done set off a firestorm on social media this past weekend. Man, what was supposed to just be a reckless standard interview turned into a complete circus. People was melting down like the witch on The Wizard of Oz when she had water thrown on her. People was crashing out like crazy. I done bookmarked so many tweets and posts. Man, wait till y'all see the stuff that people was talking about. And I only bookmarked so much because I would have been, my fingers probably would have fell off trying to bookmark some of these ridiculous posts. So if you've been living under a rock, and that had to be a pretty heavy, big ass rock for you to live under, Janet Jackson did this interview with The Guardian, and it was just a regular standard interview until in the interview she was asked about the political aspect of things going on right now, and then of course with Kamala Harris. And she made a comment. Excuse me, hold on, let me get some water. I'm gonna need to hydrate to get through this. She made a comment that at everybody, well, not everybody, because it didn't have me in my feelings, and I know a lot of those in the chat didn't have y'all in y'all feelings either. But those whose feelings were hurt, she had them pissed all the way off. I mean, they were being very performative. Now, I'm going to pull up the interview, but I'm not going to read the whole thing because it's a very, very, very long interview. So what I'm going to do is I'll post the link to the interview in the chat in case y'all want to read it at your own leisure. But I'll get to the part where things took a left turn, and I mean a sharp left turn. So here it is right here. I had to scroll down over half of the interview just to get to this part, to the point where I almost had to say to myself, is this the right interview right here? Because I wanted to make sure that I was on the right page. And sure enough, I was. So I'm gonna start right here where it starts talking about Rhythm Nation. So the person is quoted as saying, on the Rhythm Nation album, for us, it was about making a difference in a kid's life, a teenager's life. From then taking this path with drugs and going down the wrong street to trying to make something of themselves. On that record, she sang about joining voices in protest to social injustice and pushing toward a world rid of color lines. I wonder where she stands on the forthcoming election. After all, I say America could be on the verge of voting in the first, and this is where they get me, first black, quote unquote, female president, Kamala Harris. Now, mind you, I want y'all to understand, in this interview, it has nothing to do with politics. This is just a regular standard interview about Janet Jackson's life, her career, and all of that. But the interviewer, who, based on their name, sounds Indian themselves, made sure to throw this thing in here almost like a curveball towards Janet. To which Janet replied with, well, you know what they supposedly said. She asked me. She's not black. That's what I heard, that she's Indian. She looks at me expectantly, perhaps assuming that I have Indian heritage. Well, she's both, I offer. Her father's white. That's what I was told. I mean, I haven't watched the news in a few days. She coughs because apparently Janet was under the weather during this interview. It says, I was told that they discovered her father was white. I'm floored at this point. It's well known that Harris's father is a Jamaican economist, a Stanford professor who split from her Indian mother when she was 5. Now, let's get this straight here. Jamaican is a nationality of Jamaica. Just like if you are American, that's a nationality. Cuban, Puerto Rican, Dominican, all nationalities. But people, when they hear Jamaican, they automatically assume black. They automatically assume that when you hear the word Jamaican, you automatically think black. Jamaica has various ethnic backgrounds on that island, or people that come from that island that just aren't black. It's just that the majority of them happen to be black or heavily melanated. And we've seen so many documents and posts that have alluded that Kamala Harris is Indian. So many. And it seemed like, and that's why I call her I say Kamala the Chameleon, because every time something comes up about her ethnic background, it's always, oh, she's this, oh, she's that, oh, she's this one day, then she's this the next day, she's this, she's never consistent. If I was in the spotlight and they would never have to question what my race was, because I already deemed it so. And clearly, you look at me, you see a black man, a black American one at that. They said the people who are most vocal in questioning the facts of Harris's identity tend to be hardcore QAnon adjacent Trump-loving conspiracy theorists. So now what they're trying to allude to is that that's where Janet is getting her talking points. Now, this is something that I forgot who I was talking to. Yes, I think it was yesterday or the day before, but I can't remember who it was. When I said, it's amazing how they're giving the credit to these quote unquote right-wing conspiracy theorists about questioning her lineage, when it was us on the grassroots level who been called that out, before like Donald Trump and all those over there got a hold of that and put it out there the way that they did. So now they're giving them credit for saying or questioning her ethnicity. So now they've been hitting Janet with the, oh, she's falling down the maggot rabbit hole. Like when we go through the post that I bookmarked, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. It's absolutely crazy. Even down to the point where they started to throw shots at Randy Jackson because of his political leanings. I mean, even Michael Jackson caught strays. It's insanity. And y'all are going to see what I'm talking about, especially for those who aren't on X. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about. And this goes back to what I was saying, two wings attached to the same buzzer, because the same thing the people who are heavily left-leaning are doing the same exact attack, I call it a tactics, that the right wing does as well. That's why I said they're one and the same. It's just their path of how to get there is just different. But I do wonder what the algorithms are serving her. I start again. It says Harris has dual heritage, I say, and given this moment, does Jackson think America is ready for her if we agree she's black or okay, a woman of color? Now, it's crazy because that woman of color would be the actual category if you wanted to throw her into a label that wasn't breaking down her Indian heritage. That would actually be the category you should throw her in. But they rarely do that. They immediately go to black. And somebody, and I hope I got the post in my in these bookmarks where somebody finally gave a very great answer as to why they need to have her be labeled as black. Because I've been trying to figure out for the longest why they've been doing that, but I couldn't get the actual answer that I was looking for. But somebody on X gave the response I think I was finally searching for. I hope I have it in here, but I don't have no problem trying to go find it either. It says, I don't know Jackson stage whispers. It says, honestly, I don't want to answer that because I really truthfully don't know. I think either way this is going, it goes is going to be mayhem. She doesn't think there will be a peaceful transition of power. She says, I think there might be mayhem. She falters either way it goes, but we will have to see. And then that's pretty much it. Like after that, it goes into some other stuff, but it's just in this portion where the interviewer brings up about the part about Kamala Harris. So that's where it all started. And by the way, the person who conducted this interview, her name is Nosheen Iqbal. It's spelled Iqbal. I believe that's the answer to that. I mean, not the answer, how you pronounce her name. I'm not entirely sure. But this is the person right here who conducted the interview. And shout out to the 410 people that's in the chat. If you have not hit the like button, please go ahead and do so. So now let's hang on to our seats because we are about to enter the twilight zone, also known as these bookmark posts that people have been going crazy over for the last few days. Whew. All right, let's do it. All right, so let's start with this one right here. So we have this video right here who goes by this person who goes by the name of Political Sis 82. And she has a 1 minute and 37 second, I'm guessing, rant about what Janet Jackson had to say. Let's see what's going on.
Well, I be damned, Janet Jackson. I'm a little shocked at this shit. So you're going to allow for others to define what VP Harris's race is instead of you doing your own damn research. I get it. Well, that also means that you're going to allow others to define what your son's race is. After all, he is mixed as well. Janet Jackson, you should be able to vote for who you want to vote for. That is all right. I respect that. What's weird to me is the fact that you are allowing someone else to define someone else's race, a mixed person, when your child is literally mixed. Now, I don't know if it has anything to do with Trump helping your ass out in 2016 when he called Hillary Clinton a nasty woman. They say, Janet, you've been down this road before when it comes to your family members. After all the shit that you've been through in your life, you're going to continue to quote, they said that VP Harris's father is white. With all the money that you have, all the resources that you have that's in your damn face, you refuse to do your own damn research? Janet, I know damn well that you're better than that. You also said, regardless of whoever wins, there's going to be mayhem. That took place when people lost their lives on January 6th. And he did cause mayhem when he took office, especially when two women who look like me and you are no longer here because of his laws. Janet, I know damn well you're better than this.
It has begun, y'all. It has begun. And this is one of about 10 bookmarks that I have. My thing is, why did she even bring her child into this? Like I told you, it's going to be some strays being thrown into this. Oh, if y'all thought this was something, it gets worse. I think hers is the only one, though, that has a video attached to it. I couldn't find anybody else's. Not that I really wanted to see it, but I think hers is the only one that has a video attached to it. But understand something here. Let's just hypothetically say that Janet Jackson came out today and said, "I'm going to vote for Trump." Oh, they would be in shambles again. They probably think that she is a Trump supporter because allegedly she got her talking points from the right-wing conspiracy theorists. But like I told you, we was the ones that was calling that out way before they got a hold of it. But now you're saying it was a right-wing conspiracy theorist. So now I guess all of a sudden now they don't like Janet anymore. Oh, the jokes practically write themselves. I don't know if these are her natural eye colors or not. I really honestly do not care if she paid for those or if those are genetically hers. So there's that. Craig says, you said, Sorian, you can be angry with me all you want, brother, but I'm still going to vote. Why would I be mad? Craig, why would I be angry at you for voting? I just said that I'm independent and I'm neutral, but neither side is speaking to what I want. Nowhere did I say to not vote. That's just me talking. So you can vote for whoever you want to vote for. I hope you get, at the end of the day, out of it what you're trying to receive, though. I hope you don't regret it. That's all I'm saying. TR5 says, this woman is a perfect example of fake outrage. Oh, trust and believe. Everybody that has something to say, that is nothing. That's all it is a bunch of fake and phony outrage. Let's continue. Let's move on, y'all. Wait, I think someone's trying to send me something. Let me see what this is all about. Okay, that's something else. Never mind. All right, let's go to this one right here. Oh God, I didn't even realize who this was until I bookmarked it, but now I know who. This is another show right here. This is somebody I was familiar with on YouTube years ago before they started shilling it, and I had to stop following them. So we got SJS856, aka Drew comments. So Drew said, The Janet Jackson thing really illustrates how damaging disinformation is. If you can look at Kamala Harris and with a straight face think she has a white parent, I don't know what to say. Phenotype aside, what white and Indian person gets regular silk presses? We're going to get that black Trini girl to the bone. Yeah, but he's another shill. Like I said, I used to follow him years ago before he went into the shilling stuff, and I had to stop following him after that. Because I think he used to do YouTube videos. And then when I started to see the shilling, then that's when I stopped following him. Yes, TB, a man posted that. Like I told you, that one comment right there had all these shills come out of the woodwork and was ready to go in. I'm like, I'm just sitting back laughing at y'all. I am just sitting back laughing at y'all. Exactly, Donna. What does a silk press? What does a silk press got to do with anything? So they got into a little back and forth right here. Someone said Kamala is not black, and Drew came back and said yes, she is, and no one says no, she's mixed. And then he says she's not. And then they said no, she isn't. She's so now they're doing a whole yes, she is, no, she's not type of thing. Listen closely, shills. When we say black, we're talking about Black American, which we know she's definitely not. That's what we mean when we say that. It's like, do we have to get the little building block thing for the kids and put the circle with the circle, the cylinder with the cylinder, the rectangle, the triangle, the square, the cube? That's what we mean when we say she's not black. I mean, if the collard greens in the bathtub didn't tell you anything, come on now. Let's not be that dense headed out here. Anyway, let's move forward. Hold on. Craig said, out of curiosity, Torin, why the hatred? Hatred towards what? Are you okay, Craig? I got a question. Are you voting for Kamala Harris? Yes or no? Not that it really matters to me. Is that who you're supporting? Is that who you're voting for? Because it doesn't really matter to me. This is what I be talking about right here. When you are in the neutral part, it's almost like you can't win. It's like you're being pulled in both directions. I told people from the jump, when it came to this, I'm calling out both sides. I don't care who it is. Anyway, let's move on to the next post. So we got this one here. Her name is Simply Simone. She says, now, why the hell did Janet Jackson say that? This is real old head nonsense. So now they said that what Janet is doing is old head nonsense. It was all good about a week and a half ago. Oh, y'all, hey, listen, Maj, y'all better be on it. The trolls, I knew the trolls was going to be in here heavy. I knew the shills was going to be in her heavy tonight. Thank you for contributing to the almost 600 people that's in the chat. I hope you left a like. Someone said it's called identity politics. Don't blame Janet Jackson for being confused. So look at this right here. Why Watch Kamala Harris sworn in as the first Indian American senator, January 3rd, 2017. California's Kamala Harris becomes first Indian American senator, November 8th, 2016. Meet California's new U.S. senator, November 9th, 2016. First Indian woman elected. So look at this. This is going back to 2016 and 2017 when they are calling her Indian American. Where's the black at? And this was before it became a quote unquote right-wing conspiracy theory. Anybody out there in the state of California could tell you that's what this is. So I'm guessing that this is all a lie. And she never denounced and said that she wasn't. I think this person got something else here too. And like, look at these pictures with her and her family. I don't know about y'all, but when I take family pictures, I can tell you honestly, the garb does not look like that or that. People act like people can't go and find these things. The internet is forever. Next slide, or next post, I should say. Now, here's the one right here where Michael Jackson started to catch the stray. So this person named Jay Lee's Corner said, Janet says she heard Kamala isn't black is absurd because your brother's kids. Janet Jackson is tripping. Now, why did you? Okay. We know that Michael Jackson's kids, quote unquote, are not black. We've been said that. I'm sure they know they aren't either. But we've been said that. Why did you bring up Michael Jackson in a conversation about Janet Jackson and Kamala Harris, though? This is how you know you're losing the argument, when you got to bring up a man who's been deceased since 2009 and the kids that's on paper. I'll put it like that. The kids that are on paper. And shout out to UJ and Becky at the Breakfast Club gave Janet Jackson Donkey of the Day. Why am I not surprised? Look who's over there. It's two donkeys running the Breakfast Club. But yeah, they started throwing Michael Jackson into the mix. I'm like, why did you bring Michael Jackson into this? And again, look at this post. Watch Kamala Harris sworn in as the first Indian American senator. Now look at this. Someone says she's also black. She didn't write that. The writer misidentified her. Well, if the writer misidentified her, then why didn't they get someone to go back and change it? Oh, that's because they didn't misidentify a thing, because if they did, they would have changed that. This article right here from the Bee is the only one you can find under this. And if that was the case, if they edited it, you wouldn't be able to find this version of it at all. It would have been edited and put in, she's the first black and Indian American senator. But they just said first Indian American senator. See, they be doing too much. Let's go to the next one. This one says Janet Jackson is one of the most influential people in music industry. It was simply irresponsible of her to repeat something she quote unquote heard regarding the very thing that they use against Kamala, her own race. We are less than 50 days away from the election. We got to talk smarter. And she turned her account on to only limited, which means everyone can't reply to her because she already knew what was about to happen to them replies. Let's see what this one's talking about. This whole Janet Jackson thing just goes to show you how out of touch some celebrities are. I've always loved her, but repeating lies? SMH. If you don't know about a subject, then don't speak on it, especially with your platform. Educate yourself, please. Like I said, the outrage is unreal. So now just know that whenever you question certain candidates about things, that apparently now that's going to be illegal. And like somebody said, and I'm gonna say it now before I get to that particular post, they will come out and defend a person who isn't technically black over someone that actually is and has claimed their blackness every day of their life, not when it was convenient. Let's go on to the next. This one right here is very interesting because this one right here is where somebody ended up getting exposed. So let me go ahead and bring this up. So y'all probably may or may not have heard about what happened with Philip Lewis. He got exposed the other day by when he made this post right here, because then people like went and did a little deep dive into the Twitter sphere and found some posts that he made that was very anti-FBA. So he wrote, Janet Jackson on Kamala Harris, her father is white. That's what I was told. I was told that they discovered her father is white. Then he put in these quotation, well, these right here, Kamala Harris's, I'm sorry, parentheses, Kamala Harris's father is Donald Harris, a black man. But people went and did a little, like I said, a deep dive into his post and found some interesting things. Now, I couldn't retrieve the post that they got, but I've seen them. So much, in fact, that he came back and decided to make an apology about said post. And shout out to Church of Black Power for the two. He says, protect black women. My ass missed me with the BS. And we're going to get to why I'm glad you said that, because we're going to get there. So look what Philip said. A public apology. When I was in college, I made several poor jokes with my Nigerian friends while using the anti-Black American slur Akata. I was trying to be funny, but in hindsight, the jokes were clearly not. I didn't fully grasp the offensive nature of the word back then, and I definitely wouldn't make those jokes today. As a descendant of chattel slavery, allegedly, in the US, I denounce all use of the word, and I apologize to everyone I've let down with those posts for using it. Now, I've never followed this dude a day in my life, but his post always popped up on my page because of the way the algorithm works now, which I don't like. I miss the old Twitter where you only got posts from people that you followed, or if they followed you. But now it's like it's based on engagement, and that's how they determine it. To like, oh, well, we figured since you talk about this, let's just put this stuff on your timeline. I'm not trying to see everybody's post on my timeline. It's probably why I'm barely on the timeline as it is. I just check my notifications, make a little post here and there, and keep it moving. But as for this guy right here, he's sitting up here now trying to claim that he's an FBA, but the post that he was making, it pretty much got revealed otherwise. And shout out to Fleet Admiral Siddiqui for the 5. He says Janet needs to chill with all the mulatto, Latino, and Arab husbands and children. No, just a side note. Okay. So a lot of people, some people in the chat was saying how Janet is a hypocrite because she has a child, well, with her a half Arab child, with the husband that I called it a business arrangement because I'm gonna be honest with us here. Her ex is like a billionaire. He's like an heir. I forgot what it is, but he's a billionaire. Really, that was a business arrangement for them to have a kid so he could have an heir to pass it down to when he leaves the earth. It was really a business arrangement at the end of the day. I didn't really see that as a real marriage. I don't think really anybody did at the end of the day. But what I find is interesting is that a lot of people are talking about Janet Jackson having this kid with this Arab man, but Kamala Harris literally married a PC man with 2 grown white kids from a previous marriage. She doesn't have any children of her own, and if she was to, it wouldn't have been with a black man. I find it also very interesting that a lot of the divestors had nothing to say about this so-called black woman marrying this white man with 2 grown white kids. Let's really talk about it. Now, that's something I actually just left alone because I was like, I'm not going to even go there. I mean, I could, but today might be that day just based off of that comment. Why didn't any of the so-called divestors say anything about that? Now, when Barack Obama was in office, and he was, of course, married to Michelle Obama, and they had 2 daughters, I wonder what the response would have been if he was married to a white woman and had 2 mixed daughters. Did the cat get your tongue? I'm just saying. I see it, Miss Nisi. And shout out, we got over 700 people in the chat. It's been a while since the number's been that high. But shout out to everybody that's in this chat. If that was the case of Barack Obama, he would never hit the end of it. But Cheeseman says we really try. No, they're trying to. I'm not canceling a thing. Shout out to Ozzy for the 10. He says, so DL thinks Janet can't sing funny because he can't tell any good jokes. We gonna get there. We gonna get there. I saved his for towards the end because we gonna light him up like a Christmas tree. 7 said I had surgery, so I'm in and out. Torian, but yes for the 7. Okay, I hope you have a good recovery, 7. Sabrina said the divestors don't like Kamala Harris. I couldn't tell because I haven't seen many comments saying or denouncing her because of her marital choices. Exactly, Ozzy. Barack probably wouldn't even won the presidency if Michelle was a white woman. But anyway, let me continue on with these posts. So we got this other one right here. It says, Dear Janet Jackson, Kamala Harris is as black or blacker than your son. What? Huh?
What did you say, nigga?
Let me read that again. Dear Janet Jackson, Kamala Harris is as black or blacker than your son. Sincerely, if you don't know, now you know. So this is a picture of Kamala Harris as a baby with her dad. And this, of course, is a picture of Janet with her son. How is that even possible when we know for a fact that one of her parents is a full-blooded Indian woman? When Janet Jackson has two Black American parents. I'm telling you, the shilling is messing up their thinking. They can't think. They don't think. I would say pray for these people, but I don't think these people are in the position of needing prayer. They might need something else. Let's move on from that. I don't need to go any further into that. Let's see what this one is talking about. This one just said Janet Jackson, girl. That's a nothing burger. So let's move on to the next one. And shout out to Live from NYC for the 20. They said Kamala has been Black for as long as Oprah has been skinny. That was a good one. I appreciate that. That was funny. You made me laugh with that one. I appreciate. And you know what? I needed that. I needed that after reading that last one. So this person right here, and I want you to understand something. I didn't mention this before, but I want you to notice something. Many of the people that have a problem with this, I've seen and noticed one or two types of people. They're either Black women or Black members of the academy. That's what I've noticed from the people who have a quote unquote problem with what Janet Jackson said. But this person said Janet Jackson sounded an absolute fool in that interview, and I'm very disappointed. All you're disappointed. Well, in your disappointment, the world is going to continue to spin. Janet Jackson is still going to perform and live her life, and you're going to continue living your life in your disappointment. Next. Now, this one right here was the one that I think one of the first ones that I saw when this whole firestorm kicked off. This person said, all Janet Jackson needs to know is Kamala Harris is Blacker than Michael's children. Again, why are you bringing Michael Jackson into this? This has nothing to do with Michael Jackson or anyone attacked. Well, in those kids. This was the best this person could have came up with because they couldn't attack. They couldn't go at her either other way. So let's go after Janet Jackson's nieces and nephews. Well, niece and nephews. Yes, we know that Michael Jackson's children are PC. Like I said earlier, you're preaching to the choir. Why did you even bring that up? I can't. Oh, yeah. Oh, Ozzy. Nicole went in. You know, Nicole is one of the biggest Michael Jackson fans that I know. And if you talk bad about MJ, she's going to be right there to light you up. Nicole's view said, you are absolute trash, you effing POS. To attack this woman and her family while they are grieving the death of a loved one. Now, that's the interesting thing part right there. I forgot to mention. Janet Jackson just lost a brother about a week ago. Tito Jackson isn't even cold in the grave. And they are hurling these attacks. She went on to say, just goes to show how effing low life and disgusting a lot of you political whore sycophants are. But let me look at their bio. 28. B stand. So they like Beyonce. Oh, good. I'm glad I know that now. So Ravine, if Beyonce was to come out and say that, to which Janet said, would you stop being a part of the Beehive or not? Inquiring minds would like to know. And shout out to the person that just sent me the Cash App. Now let's get to the last line of bookmarks. And this is the one that I intentionally say for last. I have one more article I'm gonna go through after this, but I wanted to go through these posts first. And y'all already know what it is. DL freaking Hughley. Now this mofo here, he let his whole girdle show with this. DL Hughley, he showed his whole derriere when he made all of these posts right here. So somebody, I don't know if they screenshot it and just kind of paste them all together. But let's start with the first post. He says, Janet Jackson questioned if Kamala Harris is black in new interview. And he says, wow, just wow. As if you hadn't already heard people question that before. But because it's Janet Jackson, y'all want to act all surprised. Shout out to the other person that just hit the Cash App. He then posted another link where he said Janet Jackson claims Kamala Harris isn't black, says dad is actually white via TMZ, and then he says, come on. Then here's where he gets into his little, I guess, his roast, quote unquote. All I know is Kamala looks like she did when she was in Oakland, but Janet doesn't look like she did when she was Penny. What the hell was in that iron? So well, of course she's not going to look like she did. She was a child when she played Penny on Good Time. She was what, like 10, 11, pre-teenage? The woman is almost 60. Of course she's not going to look like a little girl. And then he going to say, what was in that iron? And that pissed me off too, because that was the first episode that she was on there. Of course, we all know she was being abused by her mother, and one of the more infamous scenes of that series was getting burned with that iron. Then he says Kamala Harris looks the way she does because she has a mom from India and a dad from Jamaica. Janet Jackson looks the way she does because she has a plastic surgeon. Team DL. So now, because Kamala is of mixed heritage, that means that she looks better. Is that DL? Is that what you're saying now? And shout out to Church for the $1. I appreciate it. Like the leaps and bounds this guy is going to cape for this woman who doesn't even claim to be black over a woman who has always been and has always claimed her blackness. Then he says Janet Jackson's interview sounded like a Trump rally. We read a piece of the interview. Keep in mind, y'all, it was only about maybe a paragraph long out of a very lengthier interview. Sounded like a Trump rally. He must not know how to tell time, because those Trump rallies be going on for hours, out longer than it should be, but they be dragging. He says it's a little ironic to question whether someone is black while you're breathing through the nose of a white woman. So now he says that Janet Jackson has a white woman's nose. And after all of these posts that D.L. Hughley posted, everybody who, first off, there was a lot of people that already had a problem with him anyway, even before he posted this. And then he decides to post this. Can someone in the chat block George, please? I don't know why I said I could have did it. I did it myself. He said she's breathing through the nose of a white woman. Then I think when people was going at him, he kept trying to come back and say they were just jokes. They were just jokes. Cat Yellow Ranger said DL ain't been famous since the TV show, and that was the Hughleys, and that was back what, in 2000, I think. And the show didn't even last that long. It lasted like maybe what, 2, maybe 3 seasons. Then the last post he made was after facing criticism for her quote unquote ignorant Kamala Harris comment. Excuse me. Janet Jackson has issued an apology. Well, DL, you spoke way too soon. Because guess what? She never issued an apology. So this is gonna be this is the last thing, and I'll drop the link in the Discord. So the thing that some people was kind of worried about was if Janet was going to come back and apologize for what happened, and it went around that she did. However, plot twist, she did not give an apology. It was her manager who did it. And they claimed it was Janet that did, but Janet didn't say a thing. So y'all can breathe. But let's read what it says. It says Janet Jackson fired manager who apologized for her Kamala Harris race comments, manager claims. But Jackson's team insisted that the person who said he was her manager doesn't represent her and was not authorized to issue the apology for her incendiary comments about Harris's racial identity. That's a very fiery word. They said incendiary. A man who claims to be Janet Jackson's former manager said the pop star and her brother, Randy Jackson, fired him because he tried to clean up her PR mess after she was quoted in an interview with The Guardian asserting that Democratic presidential candidate Kamala Harris is not black. And that's another person they kept trying to throw a stray at was Randy Jackson because of his political leanings. Janet Jackson fired me due to disagreements between me, her, and Randy after her meeting with The Guardian and her unbalanced statements. Mo El Masri told the Daily Beast in an email statement. So this is the person right here who she fired. So this person literally lied and said Janet apologized when she didn't. So not only did this person lie about being her manager, but this person lied and said that she apologized. That sounds a lot like a person you don't want around you. Yeah, I see it in the chat. Randy Jackson is her manager. El Masri's statement to the Daily Beast comes after Jackson's official rep issued a statement to the media Sunday saying that the quote-unquote apology made on behalf of Jackson from quote manager El Masri was not authorized by her at all. In fact, this Jackson rep told People magazine and other outlets that El Masri is not her manager, nor is he affiliated with her camp. The rep said that Randy Jackson is the singer's manager. Jackson, aged 58, sparked online fury Saturday after her interview with The Guardian went viral. In the interview with the UK outlet, Jackson repeated a debunked right-wing conspiracy theory promulgated by Donald Trump that the Oakland-born, Berkeley-reared vice president is not black. See how they gave all the credit to Donald Trump and the quote-unquote right wing for something we've been saying before he even said it? During the interview, Jackson was asked what she thought of Harris potentially becoming the first quote unquote black woman to be elected president. In response, Janet said, "Well, you know what they supposedly said. She's not black." Jackson continued, "That's what I heard, that she was Indian." When the reporter responded that Harris has dual heritage, Janet falsely claimed her father is white. "That's what I was told. I mean, I haven't watched the news in a few days." Harris is both. Now, here it is. Harris is both the first quote black and Asian American vice president. See, now they're putting this in here after years of it just being Indian American. Her mother, Shyamala Gopalan, was born in India, while her father, Donald J. Harris, was born in Jamaica. After Jackson's comments had left the reporters floored, the singer backtracked it a bit by saying in a whisper, "I don't know. Honestly, I don't want to answer that because I'm really truthfully do not know. I think either way it goes, it's going to be mayhem." While the reporter says she didn't think Jackson falls into the hardcore QAnon adjacent Trump-loving conspiracy theorist camp, her remarks echo false and controversial statements Trump made during an interview in July at the National Association of Black Journalists convention in Chicago. He says she was always of Indian heritage and she was promoting Indian heritage. "I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black, and now she wants to be known as black. So I don't know, is she Indian or is she black?" The drama surrounding Jackson's incendiary comments about Harris grew more complicated when BuzzFeed News reported that the singer had issued an apparent apology, according to the Daily Beast. The statement attributed to El Masri said that Janet Jackson would like to clarify her recent comments, explaining that she spoke based on misinformation about the Democratic presidential nominee's family and ethnicity. I'm trying to figure out, how did this El Masri person even get attached to this? That's what I'm trying to figure out. How did they get even involved? Where did they come from? The statement continued. It says she recognizes that statements regarding Vice President Kamala Harris's racial identity were based on misinformation. Janet respects Harris's dual heritage as both black and Indian and apologizes for any confusion caused. She values the diversity Harris represents and understands the importance of celebrating that in today's society. Janet remains committed to promoting unity and understanding. Again, this is all a quote not from Janet Jackson, but from this El Masri person. But El Masri claims to represent Jackson, were subsequently to be called into question, first by Variety, which reported that she is in fact managed by her brother Randy. Jackson's team also told TMZ that El Masri doesn't represent the singer. Meanwhile, Jackson herself has yet to weigh in on the drama over El Masri or whether she'd like to apologize for her Harris comments, which I hope she doesn't do. Deadline reported that El Masri is listed as Jackson's manager on her IMDb page, though it is widely known that Randy Jackson is her longtime manager. El Masri is also listed on another industry site, Celebrity Service, as her manager, the Daily Beast said. This site says his status was last verified September 22nd. El Masri's personal IMDb page cited himself as an Egyptian filmmaker who now works as a creative consultant for many global superstars, including Janet Jackson. Okay, that guy just sounds like a complete and utter fraudster. That's all that sounds like to me. But I'm glad that Janet got that person out the way and that she has not apologized for what she said. And hopefully she doesn't. Notice that she says she hasn't been online ever since this stuff went crazy. So maybe that's for the best, to not get online, let this blow over, and keep it moving. But anyway, y'all, hold on. I just posted the StreamYard link in the Discord. Again, you got to be in the Discord to join. I put it right there. If anybody would like to come up and speak, go ahead and do so. Black Trini says, I type that. Listen, attribute that to my keyboarding class that I had when I was in high school. Home row keys, ASDF, JK semicolon. That's how I'm able to type fast, because I used to be a pecker. All right. I used to be the one that had to look around the keyboard to try to find what keys was what. And I'm glad I took that keyboarding class. All right. Wallow, what's going on?
What's going on, Torian? What's going on in the chat? They're just upset because Janice, she still has a big influence on black people. So basically, they're upset is she's not going out there stopping for Kamala because they already are in trouble with the 50 and under crowd because the 50 and under crowd is like at 75%, and
Mm-hmm.
the 50 and older is like at 89. They need that 50 and under crowd.
Wallow, you still there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I'm sorry. They basically need that 50 and under crowd to go up to match basically the 50 and over crowd because there's more young people than is older people in the community, which everybody knows there's always gonna be more younger people than older people. But they're upset because she's not going out there stomping for this woman. It's like, bro, she has her own take. If that's what she wants to do, that's what she wants to do. She don't have to
Mm-hmm.
abide by everybody's law. Y'all upset, and then like you said, they're out there attacking this woman. Why does her brother just passed away a week ago? And this is what y'all
Yeah.
do? You
Mm-hmm.
attack her. You attack Michael. Michael's not here to defend himself. Leave him out of this. Leave his kids out of this. Leave her child out of it. Whatever she wants to do in her personal life ain't got nothing to do with you. Like, why do y'all care so much about what people do and they like these celebrities do in their off time? Let them do what the hell they want to do. And you do
Yeah.
realize, didn't Kamala have something to do with the Michael Jackson trial? You do know that, right?
The one in 05?
Mm-hmm. 0405. Yeah, she had something to do with it.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was actually she was I don't know. I know Kid me before we got on before I came in here. Kid was talking about it a little bit before we um came over here. But I think she was interviewed, but I don't know. She might have something to do with that trial because she was in what was that trial in L.A.?
Yeah, I believe it was.
Okay, she was in San Francisco different, so she might not, but she probably had some influence on it a little bit, but not too. I don't want to spread no quote unquote disinformation, but I thought she may or may not have something to do with that. Was just a little nugget, but maybe not. But either way, she ain't black. She never be black. She only had black. Never mind. Know what the hell with it. She only had black in her. That's the only time she was black. But I'm gonna land my plane there.
I appreciate you coming up. All right, next up we got Church. What's going on? And it's good because you in California.
Yes, sir. How you doing, brother? How's your day going?
The day's going good.
Blessings. Okay, so just for Wallow J, the trial took place in Santa Barbara, if I'm remembering correctly. No, either it took place in Santa Barbara, or he was arrested in Santa Barbara. It's one of the two. But let me just say this. One, for anybody to come at just black culture royalty, like Janet Jackson, anybody in the Jackson family, like we used to talk a little shit about LaToya, excuse my French. We used to talk a little stuff about LaToya, joke around and all that other stuff. But even when people started coming for her, we lashed out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why anybody would think that, especially somebody like D.L. Hughley, think that it's okay to come out and speak against. And think about it like this too. And tell me if I'm wrong, Torian. This is the second time that the media waited until one of her brothers passed away in order to do some sort of hell rain demonized campaign against whether it being her or whether it being her brother. You dig what I'm saying? They did it first with Mike.
Mm-hmm.
Soon as Mike passed away, then all of a sudden Oprah coming out with this it? Leaving Neverland, right? Now Tito then passed away. And all of a sudden, someone just so happened to ask her about Kamala, and she gives her opinion. She didn't say it maliciously or nothing, but she said it with some realness. She was like, "Oh, I didn't know. I heard that her father was white, which is partially true because her father is Irish and Hindu. You dig what I'm saying? So." People speak about this whole Jamaican situation as if, oh, it's nothing but black people in Jamaica, when we know that that's not true. It is not correct at all. But the fact that any person, especially these folks that's been running around for the past few weeks, screaming protect black women, protect black women. Now you're going against one in order to try to lift up someone who isn't a part of the culture.
Mm-hmm.
Like, especially when you go apples to apples, 1-to-1 comparisons, right? You got one woman who was actually raised in one of the most prolific families, period, point and blank, in black culture. And then you have another woman who was locking up black families, black people, men and women, and laughing about them later on. Like, a lot of this stuff is just, it's very vindictive, it's very devilish, and I don't even understand it at this point in time. I don't want to say I don't understand it. I understand it completely. But for people who don't see it, they want to try to make like excuses for these type of people. I really can't see it at this point in time.
Mm-hmm. And like some people was actually saying in the chat, and I'll even expound on that. People were saying, why hasn't her father come out and clarified or cleared any of this up? Like, because this thing has been speculation for a long time, but we have yet to hear from. I don't think I've even heard her father speak. Now, here's the crazy part about it. The DNC was about a little over a month ago in Chicago, as we all know. On the last day when she officially announced that she was accepting the nominee or the nomination, her whole family, her mom, her sister, her brother-in-law, he was probably the only black person on that stage, and their kids, all of them, her husband and his two kids were all on that stage. But guess who wasn't on that stage?
Absolutely.
Her dad was not
Absolutely
there. And it's not like her dad is deceased. Her dad is very much still alive. Because if he was deceased, that would have been all over the news.
But see, what Judge Joe Brown, what he speaks about, he says that he knows dude. He met him several times. And like the dude get kind of offended whenever someone says that he's black. So it's like, if that's the case, of course he wouldn't want to come out and then try to put that out for his daughter. Like, yeah, of course I'm black. Look at me. No, he wouldn't want to do that if he hates other people even proclaiming that he's a black man or that she comes from black people. So it really doesn't make any sense at all. And just another thing that really just a lot of people haven't been thinking about. One of the things about the Jacksons is the Jacksons left a lineage and left a heritage across the country, across the nation. You feel what I'm saying? From Gary, Indiana, across the globe all day. But I mean, like from where they came from to where they like grew up, like they're well known across the United States because of it, right? So when you're looking at that situation and look at how long the Jackson family has been in California. Janet Jackson has been in California 53 years of her life.
Yeah, she wasn't in Gary that long.
Right. So are you trying to tell me that she don't see what Kamala has been doing in California for X amount of time? You're trying to tell me that people who's been living there for longer than 10, 20 years, and she was living there at the time of Kamala being, attorney general, and how she was targeting people. She was there when she did. And then what it was Kamala actually gave an interview in the Michael Jackson situation with the whole situation with Michael Jackson. So you don't think she remembers this woman who sat here? And a lot of the people that's been demonizing her family, if you really look into it, has been the Democratic left-leaning media. Like, if you really look into it, she's been dealing with this almost her whole dang life, where her family has been demonized in some sort of way by ABC, by CNN. You see what I'm saying? Like,
don't forget CBS. Thanks to Les Moonves.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But I'm not going to hold you up too much, brother. Much love to you. Shout out to you and shout out to everybody in the chat. We just got to make sure that we keep people understanding that, hey, no. You're not going to sit here and try to change the narrative now that you don't want certain celebrities coming out because those celebrities have more notoriety than the celebrities you're bringing out.
Mm-hmm.
But peace to you, brother. I'll talk to you later.
All right. Shout out to church. And by the way, like I said, if you want to come up and speak, you have to join the Discord. The link is pinned right there at the top. And then when you get into the Discord, go to the server that's at StreamYard link, and the link is pinned right there at the bottom. It should say, it should have the link, and next to it, it should say Janet Jackson. And shout out to everyone contributing to the Cash App. I thought I only got like 3 Cash Apps. I checked that thing, I had like 6 from this stream. I appreciate each and every one of you. Next, we got Disinformation. What's going on?
Yo, what's up, my guy?
I'm doing good.
Good. So about this whole Janet Jackson situation with Kamala. Oh man, one of the things we need to understand as FBAs is the tether part, which I'm gonna get to in a second. But when it comes to the Jackson family, they're just a lot of people just don't. A lot of people hate on them because no matter what, Michael Jackson will always, as long as human history is recorded, be a staple of greatness in Black American society. So of course they're going to. I'm sorry.
No, I was agreeing with you.
Okay, my bad. So yeah, so of course when these people want to, or whenever an opportunity presents itself, of course they're going to use it as a chance to attack them. This woman, Janet, has done. Not even just Janet, the Jackson family has just done so much for us. It's like, how dare these shills? And it's mainly, when you were reading those comments, I just noticed how it was mainly tethers. I'm like, no surprises there, because unfortunately in your homelands, your asses weren't shit, excuse my language. But, yeah, Michael Jackson, he will always be the GOAT. And it's just as simple as that. And another thing I want to say about her father, before I get to her father, a lot of times us as Black people, we always talk about how we always want to be so spiritually, heavenly, godly good, whatever the correct term is, but we don't want to be earthly good. Many of us always talk about how not to follow all types of deviltry and whatnot. But meanwhile, these Democratic shills are literally doing stuff that would be considered like, devil-like and all that. They lie, they shame, they deceive. And it's like you showed them all of these lies and they still do not get it. But in my opinion, at the end of the day, I think we should just let them do them. We have the old Negroes in our community who want to vote for her. We have the sellouts, the shills. I'm just like, this is whatever. It is what it is. All I'm worried about is the people who are on code and who are going to vote for Black empowerment, which neither one of these candidates have done. But I did do some quick research on Kamala's father, and yeah. So apparently her father is part Afro-Jamaican, but it's mainly Irish.
Mm-hmm.
So, and on the Irish side, I'm pretty sure this won't come as a surprise to you and others in the chat. On the Irish side, his Irish side used to own at least up to 1,000 slaves at least. So this is what we're dealing with. Of course, this woman don't have no connection to us. I don't agree with her being Black at all. I mean, how are you Black and you're down there in California locking Black men and women up? They like to, and of course, they love to put the one Hispanic person in it to just dissolve it. But anyway, she's done so much crap to Black people, I just don't see how anybody could just sit there and lie to themselves and say that this woman is anything like us. She's not like us. She was literally frothing at the mouth, laughing like the damn Joker when she was disenfranchising us. So under no circumstances am I ever going to agree with any of these shills. who are attacking not only just Janet, but us. I'm not going to sit here and allow ourselves, we're not going to sit here and just allow ourselves to be, ethno-sided. Not at all. Because you same people you wouldn't allow that to happen to y'all, but you think it's okay for us? No, not at all. Because if we went in, and this is the last thing I'm going to say, if we went into these other people's countries and pulled even, I can't even say half, 1/4 of this crap, trying to get into their politics, trying to shame them to vote for somebody that they know, and best believe they know that this woman is going to bring harm to us. They just don't care, obviously, because it's not going to harm them. But if we went over there doing that in their countries, they would most likely stone us to death, or we wouldn't, I'm sorry for saying that word, but we would come up missing. Basically, we would come up missing, and we would never be seen again, lost in time. So I'm gonna just end up saying this to my FEA family. I sincerely hope that the majority of us who come on code, we just do what's right to actually empower ourselves instead of doing the exact opposite. That's pretty much all I want to say.
All right. Appreciate you for coming up. It sounds like you in traffic, like you out there in the thick of things, but I do appreciate you coming up. Next, we got Baby Ethernet. What's going on? If you're talking, your mic is muted. Baby Ethernet, if you are talking right now, your mic is muted. You have to unmute yourself. Okay.
Hey, sorry.
All right, okay.
Yeah, I was trying to just get through all the apps.
Okay.
So, yeah, my main thing is that it's just interesting how all the people like K Hive and kind of like the goons of the establishment are like coming forth and saying things like you need to do your research when most people are pretty disengaged in what's going on in general, just kind of watching mainstream media, right? So we're receiving information like as like viewers of mainstream media that um, this was started by Trump, but clearly black people have been like kind of questioning this all along. Even people who are followers of Democrats, they still um, heard these things beforehand. So it's almost like you said, performative outrage about something that everyone has already been talking about. Yeah, so I was just wondering like what your thought on that is in general.
Said it again.
I said I want to know what your thought on that is in general, like how the media is like using its like suppressive kind of power structure to kind of block out, I guess, third party ideas.
Now I was trying to hear what you were saying because you said a lot. So I'm trying to like register what it is that you were saying.
I was just saying that the um, I guess social media people who are like the K Hive and all those people are kind of
Mm-hmm.
working in unison with the mainstream media to kind of create a suppressive power structure to, just to kind of block and to kind of like provide a smoke screen for just like regular everyday people. You know what I'm saying? I want to know what your thought of that is in general, like how kind of people on the ground, which is through mainstream media as well as oh, well, sorry, through social media as well as mainstream media, how they're kind of working against, average everyday working people. Like, do you have any type of thought about that or any opinions on that in general?
That's just mainstream media in general. They always do that. But like I said, over here in the new black media, we constantly are pushing back against that narrative, like the one that they keep trying to push about Kamala Harris being a black woman.
Right. But is there any like real interest in like meeting those people who are basically kind of brainwashed by mainstream media to kind of
Not really,
okay.
because you see all those
They kind of
posts
have
I
to
read.
be.
Like you see all those posts that I read, I went through, they already have their mind made up. I could already tell I could not have a conversation with them.
Right.
I couldn't.
They have to be brought to a situation in which they've lost all options. They found out that Democrats and Republicans aren't really doing anything for them. Basically, have to kind of reach a point of no return to actually, I guess, be reprogrammed into knowing that they only are serving corporate interests at the end of the day. I guess so. We kind of have to leave them where they are instead of trying to help influence them to just like undo the brainwashing. I guess.
Like you said, some are just going to have to get left right where they're at.
Oh, okay. All right. That's all I wanted to say. I just wanted to kind of say that little
All
piece.
right.
But thank you for letting me speak.
No problem. Shout out to Baby Ethernet coming up. Next, we got Yoon Sellis. What's going on?
What's up, G? You good?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, for sure, man. I'm also Mario Ways to join the Discord. Just make sure you know that. Anyway, man, nigga, I ain't too surprised. Oh, my bad. Let me catch you straight. B1, I ain't really too surprised on how everybody's trying to come into common sense. And I say the common sense because we obviously know if you did newsflash, Janet Jackson blacker than Kamala Harris. My whole thing is
Yoon Sellis, I don't know what happened on your side, but your audio just cut out.
see, when you're on this phone and you get like a phone call, that's on me. My bad. I'm gonna be quick because
Okay.
people wanna hit me up when I'm on stream, but when I was waiting, nobody called. Anyway, my bad, brother. Let me get to the point. But yeah, no, bro. Like, it's literally in the articles you brought up saying that this lady is, part Indian or whatever, or Indonesian. I'm not tripping off none of that race stuff. Let's just keep it $1. They're gonna always try to disenfranchise black people or these people of color of the United States in any way, form, fashion that they can. For someone to say Carmela's blacker than Janet's children, which they have anything to do with, or Michael Jackson's children, or anything of something of that nature, just shows that they're just reaching and don't care if they hit anything or not. They just hurt, or they just trying to bring people who are not really informed on their side, right? It's like I'm just gonna say, hey man.
I guess he got another call.
Bro, I swear to God, it's not important. Anyway, so boom, they'll be like, don't listen to Cuz over there because he represents the side that woo woo woo. You don't even know what side he on. You just heard talking points, you heard stigma and things of that nature. So I'm gonna believe, yeah, Carmela is part black. She is black. I don't know nothing about California, nigga. I'm from Memphis. But I believe she's gonna be the first black woman and they're talking to my insecurities. That's basically all they're doing. They just this is around the time where a lot of things going to happen in the system where they can keep people from thinking and just get them to follow an agenda. I don't really know what it matter about her being the first, whatever the fuck. I just hope as a nation we are prepared to have her if she do be the president because the world ain't ready for that. They're just being real. We got all these countries over there that's gonna do something or anything bad to her if you go over there because that she's a woman in power. So we really need to think about what the ramifications of that would pray tell, other than caring about is this woman black or not. Not saying we own it, but as you see their agenda. That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
I appreciate the way you bring out the points though. Like you throw them just out. I'm finna go ahead and see what these folks calling me for, and I bet you it ain't gonna be nothing. I
All
appreciate
right.
you putting me on this jump. I'm gonna try to get back on her next time, better informed and connected. But anyway, B1, keep doing what you doing. You ain't did nothing wrong. Shout out to y'all. Be safe.
You want. Shout out to Yoon Sellis for coming up. Next up, we got Kenya. What's going on?
Hi, Torian. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Listen, I was once married to a Jamaican man. I've been to Jamaica many times over the years. He's deceased now. I started dating they call them coolies in Jamaica. They're Indian. Okay. They have been in Jamaica. They're the largest minority in Jamaica. They've been there since the 1800s. They came in as indentured servants. Her father is indeed half Irish because that was the slave master. And his mother was the indentured servant who was a darker skinned Indian woman. So that's why he looks the way he looks.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It is just fact. just because you say Jamaican, a lot of people haven't been to Jamaica.
Exactly.
There's Chinese Jamaican, there's Indian Jamaican, and now I've heard they've even got a few Mexicans and Spanish folks coming over there since, you know, everything went wild at the border. But yeah, she's Indian, period. And it's obvious, not only because she's from Tamil, you know, she's Hindu, but you know, she's dot, not feather. So the way that she treated the Black people in California alone should let you know she doesn't like us. She uses Black people as tools to get to whatever position she needed to get to. And that's the position she's in now. And it was slick that Biden, when everybody said, you need to get a Black vice president, he had other real Black women up there, remember? And then just her. And of course, he went for her. Why? Because traditionally, and I'm not trying to be funny, but the Indian people in India, they don't like their darker skinned Black people in their country. They call them untouchables. They can't come out into the daylight. They don't associate with those people. Yeah. They have a serious caste system over there. And it's the same thing that what's his name? Dinesh D'Souza and Ramen Noodles. Hello. That's her people. That's her people.
And don't forget about Nimrod or Ron Howard.
Okay. Trying to play like she's a white woman. Okay. Calling herself Nikki. Ain't nobody messing with Nimrod or Kamala, whatever her name is, because that means lotus. And where do lotuses grow? In India, and India is in Asia. So she says she's a part of the AAPI. She ain't never lied. She's South Asian. Ain't nothing Black about her. She ain't got a drop of Black blood. She got some melanin, but she's not Black. And you could tell she locked up Black mothers in California for truancy because her daughter had sickle cell anemia and was in the hospital. I mean, what do you think she's gonna do? That's why she doesn't have any Black agenda for us. That's why she's always talking in circles and lying about washing collard greens in the bathtub. Nobody Black in America washes collard greens where you wash your butt and your feet. No, you don't. You don't even take a cup of soda or juice to the bathroom when you go to the bathroom.
Exactly.
That automatically, Black people wake up. She's not Black. They think that just because you say you're Black, we're going to automatically vote for her, just like some people did for Obama. But we saw how that ended, and I think this would end even worse. And for her to be cackling and laughing at people and not having an agenda for us and playing in our face, nah. Putin and Young Un and all them guys, they over there doing the Birdman hand rub. They warring over there. She don't let all these army age men across the board. They all up in here and giving away all our tax dollars to all these people, and then look at us and say, "Oh, y'all be all right. You ain't getting nothing. I'm not gonna do nothing for you." No, she need to go. I'm just saying, I've been on the couch since 2020. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't vote the last election, but
so you nice and comfortable.
Listen, I got plenty of throw pillows and a nice throw. I put it right over my and watch it on the big screen. Yeah, but I hope that our people wake up. And I'm sorry, the Queen Janet Jackson, she never lied. I just had this discussion with a best friend of mine, and she stopped speaking to me for months after I let her know that lady ain't Black. So if you lose friends and family member, so be it. When they get that wake up call, yeah, it's not gonna be funny though. Don't come back later crying. And don't nobody think about no DL Hughley or Ricky Smiley or none of them. That's all that Divine Nine bullshit. I'm about to curse. I'm sorry. They just voting because they're in that cult of the college sororities and fraternities. They act like they're our overseers, that the regular Black people got to listen to whatever they say because they supposed to be so smart. I went to college too, but I didn't pledge. I knew I wasn't with that, washing toilet with toothbrushes and paddling and all that other Walt Disney. No, ma'am, no, sir. But yeah, I just wanted to let you know, yeah, the Indians been in Jamaica. They're the largest minority, and the Chinese is after them. And the Indians run the businesses, and the Chinese run the airports and the docks. And the Black people are landlocked. So that's all I wanted to say.
All right. Thanks for coming up.
Thank you.
All right. And last but not least, because they wanted to be last, Miss Nisi, what's going on?
Good evening, Torian. Good evening, family in the chat.
Good evening.
Thank you to that last caller. Most appreciative. In summary, Janet Jackson is ours. 100% foundational Black American. She can say whatever the hell she want to say and made no apologies for it. Family. We've been here before. We know the routine. We do what we got to do as a people. Couch 2024, because neither one of them imbeciles is qualified. Let that whole shit burn. I'm out.
Peace. Short and straight to the point. Shout out to Miss Nisi for coming up, and shout out to everyone who spoke. I'm glad that everyone spoke. Y'all was very opinionated tonight. I knew going into the stream, the minute I dropped that link in that Discord, y'all was going to have something to say, and y'all came up and said what you had to say and didn't hold back, and I'm glad that you didn't. But this is about to be the end of the stream. Tomorrow, I will not be going live on my channel tomorrow. This conversation about Janet Jackson and Kamala Harris, however, is not over, because tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, I will be over on Black Alpha Network's channel, and we are going to continue this discussion. But I just had to get mine out right now. But tomorrow, I will be going over with Black Alpha, and we're going to be talking about this again. So make sure that tomorrow at 7 p.m., I think he already has the live window up. So make sure y'all have y'all notifications turned on for that. When I found out he was going to go live tomorrow about that, I reached out to him on X, and he said, hey, let's do it. So tomorrow, that is where I will be at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. So make sure that you all are there, because I'm sure he's going to talk about some things that I didn't get a chance to touch on tonight. And I'll share some things over there as well that y'all probably saw over here. But with that being said, shout out again to everybody who contributed on the Super Chats. Also, everybody who contributed on the Cash App as well. Y'all will be getting the 12 p.m. Oh, the 12 p.m. The 12:10 premiere video tomorrow is going to be a triple P. It's going to be a triple P. So definitely be on the lookout for that. But with that being said, AKG, I'm going to talk to you in the back chat. With that being said, be safe. Have a good evening. Be safe and be one.